Hello everybody, Matt Anderson here, author of Fearless Referrals, and today's topic for Daily Elevation is the question, at what point in your life were you most confident? And I found this a fascinating question over the years because every time I ask people this, they know the answer immediately. They don't have to think about it at all. And it's also interesting that when John Assaraf wrote his book, The Answer, and he was talking about getting into a really powerful emotional state before you visualize, he talked about finding an emotional anchor that was really centered around the question, at what point in your life did you feel most confident? A time, when you just felt king of the world, top of the hill, that you everything was firing on all cylinders, and it was a really inspiring moment. It might have been an evening, it might have been an afternoon, it could have been a summer, but it was a moment when everything seemed to be in sync and you just felt supreme. And so there are some points I want to make about this that I think are really, really important. And the first one is that because you've been there before, you can do it again. And it certainly is a good idea to think about that time and what decisions you'd made, what you were in control of that led to such a great experience and feeling. And I would actually extend that to say to think about all the times in your life when you felt confident or very confident, and to think about what were some of those ingredients that went into that. And it's not to say that everything will then work again for you today, because that isn't necessarily the case. You might be 20 years older and things may have changed, but nonetheless I think it's crucial to look for some common denominators about how you felt and what was going on such that you felt that way, to look for things that can be replicated. So that was my first point, is you've been there before, you can do it again. The second point that I have is that what if that is the real you? You see, what happened to you in all likelihood is that you were feeling great and then life happened. There was a problem, there was a crisis, something threw you off your game, and it messed up your confidence. And I know one of the most challenging times in my life was 1996. I'd had this amazing summer. I had an incredible amount of fun. I was running a summer camp, and I fell in love. It was, all the ingredients were in place. It was a phenomenal time. It was a magical time, and then about a month later, I was doing my teacher training, and I got this letter from my mother explaining that my father was dying of lung cancer and probably only had 3 or 4 months to live. And that was unfortunately how we communicated back at that time, and my world started to cave in, and I called the love from the summer, a romance that that I was continuing on. And when I called her, she said that she didn't want to stay in a long-term relationship, and for whatever reason she felt compelled to get that out of her system that day. The same time I was calling her when I was desperate for some support and help, and I was crushed. And knowing what I know now, it would have been a rough time regardless. But there are things that I know now that would make a difference. And so some of the things that you want to have in place as a sort of a stability foundation are clarity about what you value. And that's the easiest place to start. What you really want is to have a clear sense of purpose, even a calling in life. That's the strongest, probably highest level you can be at. And the truth is that takes a lot of thought and effort, and it's worth your time, and I encourage you to do it. But at a minimum, when you have clarity about your values, and then also when you're clear about who you are as a person, and especially who you want to become or be more and more of, if you're not feeling that way today, clarity about those qualities is really important. And that's, again, another reason why it's helpful sometimes to look back at what was going on at that time, because you can say, yes, I was healthy, I was you can talk about the positive things that you were doing. You might say I was enjoying my work, or my family situation was good, or I liked where I lived, or I was financially in good shape at that time. Look for some of those common denominators that maybe well be part of who you want to be in the future. So that's the third thing that I want to say about this topic is it's inevitable. Life's going to throw you off at some point. It's inevitable, and therefore being able to, is, how you handle that the best, such that your confidence doesn't get thrown off much, is clearly a good thing. So that you don't end up in the same situation you had before. The fourth thing I want to say is that is confidence building is a process, and it's like anything else. If I decided today that I wanted to get good at tennis, I would have to start at a very low level, and the only way I'm going to get better at it is to take lessons and to practice and to keep practicing and to play against other people. And it's the same with anything. If there's a skill that I need to get better at, if there's technology I need to learn, and it's the same. I mean, it's the same, obviously, for everybody. That if you want to, build confidence in an area, it requires effort and practice and knowledge and learning. And so, and confidence is the same way. You didn't just become really confident overnight when you had this one experience, or these other experiences you're thinking of in the past. Is things built up such that great experience happened? There was a level of competency, I'm guessing, around what you were doing for the such that you felt really confident. Since there's no quick fix, that's point number 4, is to keep that in mind. Is confidence getting your confidence back up is a process. So let's just say today you thought you felt like your confidence is only at a 4 out of 10. Then your first goal is to make it a 5, and to start thinking about what thoughts do I need to have, what action could I take, what physically do I need to do differently to start feeling more confident, to build that from a 4 to a 5. And then my last point is simply the fact that other people have done it, so you can too. And it's terribly important to understand that we're talking about human beings with the same body parts and the same type of mind. Nobody's better than you, nobody's smarter than you, and it's ultimately it's up to you to believe that those things, and that if this other human being can do it, and the same human being that has the same bodily needs as you still has to sleep and eat and poop and all those other things, that you have the ability to improve your life more and more and more, such that you can get that confidence up to a high level. So just to sort of restate then, great feelings of confidence in the past means you've been there, you can do it again. That's the first point. The second point is to sort of flip the thinking upside down, and not to say, well, it was a fluke that those great things happened, but actually to say, well, what if that person that was really confident at that time in the past for you, what if that is the real you? And what does that mean in terms of what you're capable of now moving on to accomplish next? And that's where you want to keep your brain, and not to, and that when self-doubt crops up, to immediately nip it in the bud, and to keep steering your brain back, such that you keep top of mind what are those qualities that maybe I had before that I want again, or what are the qualities I want to build on so that my confidence continues to grow. And then the third thing then is clarity about sort of having an emotional foundation of what you value, knowing your purpose. These things are important, because when the next crisis or problem in life comes along, you're better equipped to handle it. Point number 4, just the reminder that building confidence is a process, just like building up anything. It can't happen overnight. And then the last piece is the fact that other people have done it means that you can too. So, Matt Anderson, today's daily elevator. So believe in yourself, take care of your body, and always please have the courage to live the life you really want. We'll talk to you soon.